There was a point in my life when my stuff really took control. It took power over my life, where I no longer felt like I was in the driver's seat, but my stuff was dictating how I was spending my time. All my excess belongings contributed to a constantly messy space. It made me not want to invite people over, and therefore I was less social because I was too embarrassed to invite them over. Or when I did invite them over, I'd have to spend a bunch of time cleaning and getting ready for it. It also made me just feel more anxious at home in my space. It probably made me sleep worse and just function less well. And it wasn't like I was not spending time cleaning up. I spent a lot of time moving things around, trying to organize things, but because there was so much chaos, I could never get on top of it. And so I was wasting all this time that I could have spent working more, pursuing some new interest, traveling, deepening my relationships, or just spending time in stillness. A lot of that had been lost from my life. And at the time, I don't even think I realized how much it was because of my stuff. And so part of my goal in this channel is to help you take back the power away from belongings, away from objects, and to take control of your life. And there is one little minimalist concept or trick that has really helped me want less, because I think a lot of why I end up with so much chaos, or at least did historically, was that I always wanted more. And every time I'd see some kind of product or clothing item that looked appealing to me, I just want to get it. So I think a lot of overcoming the chaos, bringing less into your home, is about reducing that itch or desire for something more. But it's not easy to just stop wanting things that are new. We're so socialized to want more and more and more. And with technology, it's easy to accumulate more and more and more. So I want to share this little trick to help you want less and live more fully. The concept I want to use is what I'm calling appreciation odds. This idea is essentially the likelihood that you will actually enjoy or use the object regularly and in a meaningful way. When you're tempted to purchase something or to accumulate something, take a moment and try to evaluate what your appreciation odds are. What's the likelihood that you're actually going to be glad you bought the item in the long run and that it will help further your life in a positive way? And part of this concept is based in the idea that thus far in life, you've been spending your entire life curating the belongings around you, thinking thoughtfully about what you want to purchase, what you like, what's useful to you. The odds that this something new that you just happened across is actually going to meaningfully impact your life in a positive way is probably pretty darn low. I think actually trying to put a number on it, so saying, it's probably only a 20% chance that in 6 months I even care about this belonging. By creating that number and thinking about the odds of that, it helps you confront in a more realistic way whether it will be a good idea to buy or to collect something. And there are various ways you can evaluate the odds of this appreciation. A first question you can ask yourself is, how often will I actually use this belonging? If, say, it's a fancy dress for an event, will you realistically only wear it once, or could you use it for many events in the future? Also, is there another option, like renting a piece or re-wearing something you already have? A second question to ask yourself is, can I use this belonging in numerous contexts? A perfect example of something I wear in a lot of contexts for me is my cashmere cardigan. It was pricey, it was an investment, but I wear it at home to be comfy. I wear it out to meet up with friends. I wear it at holidays and family get-togethers. And since I work from home, I also wear it to Zoom meetings and for just work days regularly. I use it in so many different contexts that helps me use it more often, and so that piece has really high appreciation odds. A third question to ask yourself to determine appreciation odds is, how does this item compare to my most used pieces that are equivalent? So for example, in the case of that cardigan, if I'm looking at a new cardigan, what are the chances that this cardigan is something that I'm going to use more or enjoy more than the one I already have? I think this is especially helpful for wardrobe pieces where it's like you find yourself continuing to buy the same piece over and over again, looking for that perfect version when maybe the best one you kind of already had. I do this so often for jeans, for white t-shirts, for button downs, but taking a moment to figure out what are the odds that this one is actually better than what I already have can help clarify how much you're actually going to enjoy the piece. A fourth question is, does this item match the life I have and not the life I want? Sometimes we buy things according to a life we want to have. Maybe it's, I really want to buy this cool new travel bag because in my dream life, I'm traveling all the time. Or maybe it's, I'm going to buy a ton of different workout outfits because I'm suddenly going to start going to the gym all the time, when maybe just 2 or 3 workout outfits would be fine for me. Or even how many outfits for hanging out and socializing I need. Like realistically, back when I was in college and living with my friends, I saw them every single day. Whereas now, I just don't see friends as often as that. And I don't need constant different changes of clothes for every possible scenario. And I don't have to pretend that my life is suddenly going to transform and that I need a million different cute shirt options. A fifth one, and this is a key one, what are potential flaws of this item that I'm not seeing right now? So often we buy something and then it gives us blisters, or it actually snags really easily, or it pills really easily. Sometimes it's helpful to study the piece that you're considering buying and really try to nitpick it, like try to criticize it, try to find flaws and why you might not like it in the future. So often it can turn that dream piece into something that's actually like, actually, I almost actively don't want that because it's made out of a material that isn't very good, that will likely get destroyed in the long run. Or, you know what, realistically, I don't like the neckline. Like, it looks cute on that person, but I don't think it'll work for me. I won't feel comfortable in it. Zooming in on those flaws and focusing on them can help you take the power back and make you realize, you know what, I'm probably not going to appreciate this as much as my gut was telling me. Like maybe I got excited about it, but I'm not focused on the reality that it does have flaws, because every object does have some imperfection. There is no belonging that's the perfect version, and that's part of this, is realizing every object has limitations. There's no such thing as a do-it-all perfect belonging, but often on an emotional kind of gut level, we feel like it's perfect. And so we gravitate towards it and we make impulsive decisions to buy something. But if we step back, recognize the flaws, we can take the power back. A sixth question to ask yourself is, even if I end up liking or using this belonging, how much long-term joy will this belonging bring me realistically? Like, even if this belonging does everything it says it will, if it meets the requirements, if the flaws aren't that bad, will this belonging bring me long-term deep joy or a sense of meaning in my life? In most cases, the answer is probably no. And so maybe those appreciation odds, just by the fact that it's a belonging, it's a thing, it's not some kind of meaningful aspect of your life, will drop those appreciation odds quite a bit. When we think about what's really important to us, our relationships, our vocation or our careers, our interests or passions, our communities, our spiritual beliefs, so many of those things are just so much more important in bringing us that deep sense of joy than any one object. But sometimes I think we try to confuse ourselves into happiness by buying things, when really the buying of things isn't going to bring us life satisfaction. So just take that into account when you're trying to estimate your appreciation odds. And just to be clear, as a general concept, it's not that appreciation odds is a certifiable perfect number, like you're just making an estimate here, but by trying to predict the long-term payoff of obtaining a belonging, you're increasing the likelihood that you're also smarter about your purchases. If you enjoyed this video, please take a moment to give it the thumbs up. It does so much for the channel if you're willing to take a moment to do that. So if you're willing to, I'd appreciate it. If you want to see more videos on simple living, minimalism, and building an empowering mindset, then click the subscribe button below. And if you want to see another video that has kind of a minimalism, big picture chat, that's also kind of a fun vlog of a day in my life, I'll link that at the end of this video. Thank you so much for spending this little bit of time with me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.